My name is Kyle Obiora, formerly Hornback. I'm Zach Hornback's little sister. I was 9 years old at the time of Zach's accident when he had his traumatic brain injury. There's a lot from that time period that I don't remember being so young, but there are a few distinct defining moments that I will probably never forget. The first one of those was the night of the accident. It was the middle of the night, like something like 3 a.m. And I was in my bed and I heard the phone ring. The phone never rang in the middle of the night. And after I heard the phone ring, I remember hearing a commotion of sorts. Something was going on in the hall. And I was a curious little kid, a nosy little kid. And so I peeked my head out of the door, trying to not be seen because I was supposed to be asleep. And I heard my parents. They were panicking. They were anxious. And they were leaving. They were leaving the house in the middle of the night. So I knew something was very wrong. And I either got seen or discovered, or I asked a question. I'm not sure how it happened, but my parents interacted with me right before they left for the hospital. And they told me that Zach had been in an accident and they were going to the hospital. And so for a 9-year-old kid, that's really scary. I didn't know what the circumstances were. I didn't really understand why my parents were leaving in the middle of the night. But the first time that I went to the hospital to go see Zach was scary. First of all, he was in a coma. And when I entered the room, I saw him laying there, my big brother, with a big swollen face with black and blue eyes. His head was cut open. He had all types of tubes and machines connected to him. There were beeping noises. There were nurses coming in and out. And for me and for my little sister, who was 6 years old at the time, that was very scary. We didn't know what was going on. Logan couldn't handle it. She burst out in tears and my dad had to take her out of the room. I could handle it, but I will tell you, I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. But as time progressed, I remember feeling more comfortable around Zach. He was in a coma for, to me, what seemed like a very long time. And my dad will tell you stories of me rubbing lotion on Zach's feet and massaging his feet and nurturing him and, talking to him as he laid there asleep. And as everybody knows, eventually Zach woke up. I got to be involved in his therapy. I was really involved, actually. I got to go to his occupational therapy sessions and his physical therapy sessions. And there's a few that I remember in particular that were really hard to watch. There was one therapy session where whatever it was they were trying to get Zach to do, he either did not want to do it or it was painful in some way, and he cried. He was laying on a blue mat, and whatever they were doing, he was moving a leg or something like that, he just started crying like a baby. And that was so hard for me to see, my big brother, football player, baseball player, that was really hard for me to see. There were people all around the world praying for Zach. And when I say all around the world, I literally mean that, because my mom was keeping a blog at the time called Zach's Comeback. She kept a blog and she updated everybody who was interested about Zach's progress and what was going on. And a lot of people tuned in. It started to become almost viral in a sense. People from all around the world who we didn't know at all were keeping up with Zach's progress and praying for him. And if you walked into the waiting room at the hospital when Zach was still at University Hospital, the entire waiting room would be full of his friends or people from our church, and literally the entire waiting room filled with these people. And they would be praying for Zach. They would be playing games, waiting to go in and see him. And I remember as a little kid, I remember the doctor saying that him having visitors was really important because in some way that helped his recovery, that helped him progress. And it definitely did. Zach had a huge support system of people with great faith, and they prayed for him fervently. Every single day, he was surrounded in prayer, he was surrounded in love, and he was surrounded by people who believed that he could recover, even when the doctors told us that he wasn't going to, or that if he did wake up, he was going to be in a vegetative state, and that my parents should start looking for a nursing home. But despite all of that bad news and those expectations from doctors, the people that came to see Zach believed that God had the power to heal him and to make him new. And he did. He did. He made Zach into a new creation. And Zach has the most beautiful outlook on life. If you know him, you know exactly what I mean. He's so joyful. He's so thankful. He's so grateful for the people around him more than anybody that I've ever met. He has this thirst for life that is contagious. And, you know, he was only 15 at the time of the accident, so who knows what he would have been like if the accident never happened. But I know that he wouldn't have been like this. And so while it was a very tragic experience for everybody in my family, all of Zach's friends, it was a blessing in disguise because so many people, including myself, including strangers, learned or watched the power of prayer play out, and that God has divine healing powers. And people who don't believe in God, people who aren't Christians, got to see that faith makes a way. And it did. And beyond that, we have Zach, who is a totally different person, who is just an absolute blessing. And we are so grateful for the person that Zach is today, and ultimately for the mistakes that led him here. I'm really excited that my mom has decided to share her story with you. She's poured her heart out into this, and she has created something that so beautifully reflects God's grace and healing and the power of prayer. And I'm really excited for you guys to all be able to read her book. So check it out.